Peter David Schiff, born on March 23, 1963, and often nicknamed Dr. Doom, is an American stockbroker, financial commentator, and radio personality. He played a role in founding Echelon Wealth Partners in Canada, which was previously known as Euro-Pacific Canada. Schiff is also associated with other financial services firms, including Euro-Pacific Asset Management, where he serves as an independent investment advisor, and SchiffGold, formerly known as Euro-Pacific Precious Metals. Notably, Schiff gained recognition for predicting the 2008 financial crisis. Peter Schiff was born into a regular Jewish family in New Haven, Connecticut. His dad, Erwin Schiff, came from Jewish immigrants who moved from Poland. During World War II, Erwin served in the U.S. Army. Peter's parents separated when he was young. Consequently, he moved around quite a bit with his mom and brother, Andrew. They lived in various places, from Connecticut to Manhattan, then Florida, and finally settled in Southern California. Peter acknowledges his dad for introducing him to the Austrian School of Economic Thought. Erwin Schiff played a significant role in the U.S. tax protester movement, but passed away in October 2015 while serving a sentence in federal prison for tax evasion. Despite his father's involvement in radical activities, Peter Schiff did not share his views. As early as 1980, Peter encouraged his father to halt his tax protest endeavors, considering them to be futile resistance. Although Peter found his father's arguments intellectually compelling, he disagreed with his methods and idealism, describing him as impractical. Peter believed that his father's approach was destined for failure. Following his father's death on October 20, 2015, Peter accused the Federal Bureau of Prisons of mistreating his father and failing to grant him the usual humanitarian release. Peter Schiff started his career as a stockbroker with Shearson Lehman Brothers in the early 1990s. He learned the ropes of the financial world during this time, gaining valuable experience in the industry. In 1996, Schiff took a significant step in his career by acquiring an inactive brokerage firm along with a partner. They rebranded the firm as Euro-Pacific Capital and set up shop in a small office in Los Angeles. From there, they began building their business empire. Over the years, Euro-Pacific Capital grew steadily, prompting Schiff to relocate the firm to Darien, Connecticut in 2005. Later, they moved again, this time to Westport, Connecticut, where the company's headquarters are currently situated. Branch offices were established across the U.S., including locations in Scottsdale, Arizona, Boca Raton, Newport Beach, Manhattan Beach, California, and New York City. The expansion marked Euro-Pacific Capital as a prominent player in the financial services sector. Schiff's entrepreneurial spirit didn't stop there. He ventured into banking with the establishment of Euro-Pacific Bank, a full reserve banking operation initially based in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This move diversified Schiff's portfolio and solidified his presence in the financial market. Throughout his career, Schiff demonstrated a keen business acumen and a drive for success. His ventures in brokerage and banking showcased his ability to identify opportunities and capitalize on them, cementing his reputation as a formidable figure in the world of finance. Peter Schiff has gained renown as a prominent economic forecaster and investment advisor, notably for accurately predicting the 2008 financial crisis. His career in investment began in the early 1990s at Shearson Lehman Brothers, before he co-founded Euro-Pacific Capital Inc., where he currently holds the positions of CEO and Chief Global Strategist. Additionally, Schiff established SchiffGold in 2010, where he serves as chairman. On June 30, 2022, the Puerto Rico Office of the Commissioner of Financial Institutions, OCEF, made a public announcement regarding the suspension of operations at Schiff's Euro-Pacific International Bank in Puerto Rico. The OCEF suspected the bank of involvement in money laundering and tax evasion. The commissioner highlighted multiple violations of regulations by the bank and its unwillingness to comply. Consequently, regulators liquidated the bank, and Schiff was required to pay $300,000 in fines. In addition to his roles within Euro-Pacific Capital and SchiffGold, Peter is actively involved as an investor and advisor at GoldMoney. He is recognized as an authoritative author and blogger, offering insightful commentary on economic matters. His expertise extends to international investing, making him a sought-after speaker and analyst in financial circles. Peter Schiff countered the OCIF's actions, attributing them to allegations initially made by 60 Minutes Australia and The Age newspaper. He vehemently denied the accusations, stating that they had led to the collapse of the bank's business. In response, Schiff filed a civil lawsuit against the Nine Network and The Age for defamation, prompted by their coverage of the Australian 60 Minutes interview and subsequent articles. In 2022, an Australian court ruled on Schiff's defamation case, determining that 60 Minutes had indeed defamed him, while The Age had not. By December 2023, the legal dispute was resolved through a settlement. As part of the settlement agreement, Schiff received $360,000 in compensation, and all versions of the 60 Minutes broadcast were removed by the respondents. Schiff revealed that he incurred substantial financial losses due to the regulatory actions taken against him. Despite the settlement of his defamation claim, Schiff emphasized the significant impact the ordeal had on his finances and reputation. Peter Schiff served as an economic advisor during Ron Paul's presidential campaign in 2008, providing guidance on economic matters. In 2010, there was a push from some citizens in Connecticut for Schiff to challenge incumbent Senator Christopher Dodd. Around 5,000 people contributed to Schiff's potential campaign through a dedicated website. In February 2009, a fundraising effort called a Money Bomb raised over $20,000 to support Schiff's possible Senate bid. In May 2009, Schiff expressed serious interest in running for the U.S. Senate in a video blog. He indicated to a Washington Post reporter that the likelihood of him entering politics was high. Schiff even commissioned a poll of potential voters in June 2009, which showed him trailing Dodd by a small margin. On July 9, 2009, he established an exploratory committee and launched an official campaign website. After dropping hints about his intentions on The Daily Show, Schiff officially declared his candidacy for the Republican nomination on September 17, 2009, during an appearance on the MSNBC Morning Joe show. By October 2009, Schiff had garnered over 10,000 donations and received support from prominent figures like Ron Paul and Steve Forbes. During the May 2010 Republican convention, Linda McMahon emerged with the most delegate votes, but faced a primary challenge from Rob Simmons. Schiff didn't qualify for the primary at the convention, but managed to secure a place on the ballot by petitioning. However, McMahon won the primary with 49% of the vote, followed by Simmons with 28% and Schiff with 23%. The general election was won by the Democratic Party's primary winner, Richard Blumenthal, defeating the Republican candidate Linda McMahon. In April 2008, Peter Schiff threw his support behind Murray Sabrin for the U.S. Senate seat in New Jersey, endorsing him for the position. During the 2012 Republican primary, Schiff opted not to endorse Linda McMahon, instead backing her opponent, former Representative Christopher Shays. However, McMahon emerged victorious in the primary, defeating Shays. Despite her primary win, McMahon ultimately lost to the Democratic candidate Chris Murphy in the general election. Peter Schiff was a familiar presence on major television networks like CNBC, Fox News, and Bloomberg before the financial crisis. He frequently shared his views on the U.S. economy and financial markets. However, following the crisis, his appearances on these networks declined significantly, dropping by 75 to 85%. Schiff is active in the online sphere as a video blogger, distributing his content through platforms like YouTube, Euro-Pacific Capital, and iTunes. He has made guest appearances on Joe Rogan's YouTube series and podcasts on 4 occasions, engaging with a broader audience. In addition to his radio and webcast presence, Schiff has served as a commentator on financial networks like CNBC and Fox Business, offering insights and analysis on economic matters and market trends. Peter Schiff has left a lasting legacy in the world of finance, marked by his astute economic foresight and entrepreneurial spirit. Renowned for accurately predicting the 2008 financial crisis, Schiff's career spans from his early days as a stockbroker to his establishment of Euro-Pacific Capital and SchiffGold. Despite setbacks such as the suspension of Euro-Pacific International Bank and subsequent legal battles, Schiff's influence as a commentator and analyst remains profound. His advocacy for Austrian School of Economics and critiques of mainstream financial practices have sparked important discussions in economic circles. Additionally, his brief foray into politics, including a Senate candidacy, reflects his commitment to effecting change beyond the financial realm. Through radio broadcasts, webcasts, and television commentary, Schiff continues to engage audiences with his insights, ensuring his legacy endures as a prominent figure in finance and economic discourse.